I wonder what you think is the problem. Why is it going so wrong?
So we know that there's some significant pressures out there in the service in terms of the way that patients flow through the service and the numbers of people that are coming and how sick they are. If you look at the figures in detail, what you can see is more people are turning up sicker, so they get admitted. More people are admitted, stay in hospital longer because they can't get out of hospital. And what we need to do is start to look at services differently, investing in care outside hospital, social care, so that people can move through the system quicker and we spend money in the right places.
Which is a policy that Labour has been pushing, a more closely integrated system with social care in the community, that sort of thing.
Yes, and I think it's something that's got considerable consensus across all parties. The 5-year forward view that was published last year by NHS England and the other arms-linked bodies set out a vision which looked very much like that. What we're currently seeing is an obsession on short-term issues at the expense of delivering that long-term vision. And what we must do is find a way of dealing with those medium-term issues of investing in communities, investing in social care, and developing services that better meet needs of patients today. There's a really good chance to do that because we're about to go into a spending review round, which would allow a 4-year settlement for the NHS, which gives us some certainty and clarity.
In the last year, 17 trusts have lost their chief executives, which really speaks, I think, doesn't it, of the pressure that many of these trusts are now under.
It does, and what we've been calling for some time is some greater support for people running organisations in the front line, because they're part of the solution. What we mustn't be doing is saying that it's their fault that we're in this situation. If 96% of acute hospitals at Q1 are in deficit, then there's something wrong with the way that the system's working at the moment. It's not down to the leadership.
Can I read you the comments of one of those chief executives who retired from the Great Ormond Street Hospital? And he said this: "My sense is now that for most chief executives, success is survival, and that it's achieved by staying in the pack financially, i.e. your deficit average getting worse no more quickly than anyone else's." That's quite an indictment on the system. So not fixing the problem is the solution for many of these chief executives, is to stay within the pack even though you're running a deficit.
So I spend most of my time out in services as well as dealing with politicians and national bodies, and most of the chief executives that I talk to have got significant ambitions for their service and for their patients. All of them, I think, back the 5-year forward view, which is about fundamentally changing the way we deliver care. What we have, though, is a bit of a problem. We've got a regulatory system which probably penalises individual organisations and people, when what we've got to look at is how is the health service as a whole functioning, what's happening with social care, what's happening with community services. In the last 5 years, 500,000 fewer people receive social care than they did 5 years ago. That's having a knock-on impact into hospital care. If we don't start to look at things in the round, if we don't start to have ambitions about our communities and our services, then we'll fail. I think we've got a real chance to do that, though. I think these figures today are part of a short-term problem that we need to see our way through. We can only see our way through that if we have a longer-term settlement. George Osborne's got a chance to sketch out what the $8 billion extra for the NHS over the next 5 years means. We need more money up front, we need to back social care, and we need to make sure that funding for prevention exists so that good leaders in the NHS, whether they're doctors, nurses, therapists or managers, can succeed.
Well, it's certainly no carnival. I think you've done very well talking over the music behind you. I don't know what's going on in our lead studio, but well done keeping your thoughts together on it. Rob Webster, thanks very much for talking to us.
Thank you very much.